Hey, special educators. Welcome to Teach, Taskbox, Inspire, the podcast dedicated to making your job as a special education teacher easier by making your instruction more fun for you and your students. Inside each episode, you'll learn how to get the most use out of your task boxes in the classroom. I'm your host, Lisa Hollady from Chalkboard Superhero, a veteran special education teacher passionate about empowering you with purposeful teaching strategies, helpful tips and tricks, and other classroom management tools that will help you thrive in your role. Let's get started with today's episode. Hey there, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Teach, Taskbox, Inspire. I'm your host, Lisa Hollady, and today we're diving into a productivity mindset that I promise can completely change how you tackle your school day. Eat the frog. Have you ever heard of that saying? And no, I'm not asking you to actually eat a frog for breakfast. This phrase comes from a concept popularized by the author Brian Tracy, who said if the first thing you do each morning is eat a live frog, you can go through the day knowing it's probably the worst thing that will happen to you all day long. And I know that's such a silly thing to say, but for teachers, especially special education teachers, that frog is your hardest, most dreaded, or most time-consuming task, the one that hangs over your head and steals your mental energy all day long. It's just sitting there, living rent-free in your brain. So, what does eat the frog mean for teachers? In our world, as teachers, frogs can be a lot of things. It could be lesson planning for multiple ability levels. It can be writing progress reports or IEPs. It can be data collection or analyzing said data collection. It could be organize your classroom or prepping task boxes. It could be handling that parent email that you've been avoiding. When you leave those tasks until the end of the day, or worse, my gosh, the end of the week, they weigh on you. They sit there right in your head. They sneak into your brain while you're teaching, distract you while you're at home, and make Sunday nights feel heavier than they should. Now, eating the frog simply means do the hardest thing first. Start your day by getting that big, intimidating, or annoying task off your plate so everything else just feels easier. So let's find your frog. How do you know what your frog is? Here are a few ways you can identify it, and you can even take out a piece of paper right now and make a list. What are the tasks that you're avoiding? If you've been telling yourself, okay, I'll get to it later, or for 3 days straight, I'm going to tackle it on Friday, or you're just putting it off. What weighs on your mind if a task is causing stress or keeping you up at night? That's your frog. What has the biggest impact if it's done early? Some tasks, like creating individualized schedules or, prepping data sheets, make the whole day run smoother if you do them first. For me, as a special education teacher, my frogs often include lesson planning for multiple groups or writing really long IEP narratives. Once I've tackled them early in the day or first thing during my planning block, I feel like a weight was lifted off my shoulders. So what are some practical ways to kind of quote unquote eat the frog in special education? How do you actually apply this in your classroom? Number 1, front load your planning. If your hardest task is lesson planning or prepping visual supports, tackle it first thing in your prep period or even before school if you can. Do it first. Number 2, use your energy wisely. Our brains are the sharpest in the morning. Use that time for your frogs instead of answering easy emails or cutting laminates or, doom scrolling through your lesson planning time. All right, number 3, set a 30-minute frog timer. You can even buy these frog timers off Amazon. They're super cute. You can commit to working on your quote-unquote frog for 30 minutes uninterrupted. And I'm telling you, hide your phone because it's so easy to just jump on your phone. You'll be shocked at how much progress you make once you get started. Also, quick tip, close your door. Lots of people see you in your classroom and they want to chat. Close your door. All right, number 4, batch and tackle. Sometimes frogs come in clusters, like prepping a week of airless learning tasks. Batch them together and finish them in one session so they're out of the way. Batching is so nice because you're kind of on a roll, you're in that zone, and you're just banging stuff out. And number 5, one of my favorite things, reward yourself. After you eat that frog, reward yourself with a small break, a cup of coffee, a fun creative task like decorating a bulletin board. If you hate doing that, just scroll Instagram to kind of clear yourself or reward yourself. All right, let's talk about the impact on work-life balance. Here's the thing. When you eat that frog early, you kind of reclaim your evening and weekends. So many teachers, myself included, go home thinking about that IEP we didn't finish, or those lesson plans we didn't start, or the pile of graded papers that I have not touched yet. We sit down at dinner or try to spend time with our kids or talk to our husband, and our brains are kind of like still at school with that unwritten checklist we have in our head. When you handle the big tasks first, you leave school with that sense of accomplishment. You can focus on the smaller daily routines, enjoy your students, and actually have energy to give to your family when you get home. I'll never forget, there was this one year where I had a stack of like 12 IEPs due in the same week. In my district, we have IEP days. So all of our IEP days are 1 or 2 days long. We don't have them throughout the year. We just have them 1 or 2 days in April or sometime in spring. And it's crazy. I kept pushing them to the end of the day because I was quote unquote too busy teaching during school hours. But by 3:30, I was exhausted. I'd get home, make dinner, and stare at the computer with absolutely no energy. And then I tried something new. I ate the frog. I dedicated my first planning block every single morning to write one IEP. No email, no laminating, no hallway chats. By Wednesday, I had 5 IEPs done, and it felt this huge sense of relief. The shift was incredible. My evenings were calmer, my anxiety dropped, and my students had a more focused teacher during the day. And I know it's so much easier to say all this stuff than actually doing it, but buy the frog timer, guys. Put it on your phone. Put the timer on your phone. If you just put, some time to it and set aside time to do it, it's a lot easier than telling yourself over and over and over, I'm going to get it done. It's fine. I'll get it done at home. It's fine. I'll go in early the next morning. Don't keep doing that to yourself. It's going to stress you the F out. All right. So if you're still with me, here's some actionable steps I want you to take, right? Number 1, identify one frog. This is going to be your hardest, most dreaded task. Number 2, decide when you can tackle it first. Either first thing in the morning or go in a little bit earlier, or maybe you have your first block free. Whenever it is, decide when. Number 3, do it. No excuses, no distractions, just do it. Sit down and get it done. Number 4, notice how the rest of your day feels lighter. All right, so eating the frog is not about working more, right? It's about working smarter and freeing up your mental space. Special education teachers have so many frogs to deal with. Lesson planning, data tracking, parent communication is huge and takes up so much of my time. Behavior plans, which takes up so much of my time. But if you can knock out just one major task early in the day, you'll end up feeling more accomplished and less burned out every day. So tomorrow morning, pick your frog, take a big bite. Your future self and your students and your family at home will thank you. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. I know that's a short and sweet episode, but thank you so much for listening to Teach, Task Box, Inspire. If you feel this episode resonated with you, please share it with another teacher who might need a little boost today. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a full episode or any real talk or practical tips for special education teachers just like you. Until next time, guys, bye-bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Teach, Task Box, Inspire. I hope you've gained some tips and motivation to fuel your week ahead. If you're ready to explore more strategies for empowering your students as independent learners, be sure to dive into my free training at chalkboardsuperhero.com/training. And don't keep all this knowledge to yourself. Share this episode with your special education teacher friends who could use some motivation and inspiration. One more thing before you go. If you're finding this podcast helpful and want to show support, head to Apple Podcasts and leave your rating and review. Until next time, keep teaching, task boxing, and inspiring.